Hey dolls, so in this video we'll be learning how to make the three-piece set bikini. Here I'm just showing the patterns that we have, but we're going to start with the bottom. So first you want to fold your fabric in half and place the pattern right at the bottom where it folds. Here I'm just using some weights to put, but listen, these weights were terrible and it still kind of moved, but just do your best. This part doesn't really have to be clean. Alright, so once you're done cutting that out, you're going to go ahead and cut another one out. This is going to make sure that our bathing suit is double lined. And again, on this one, you want to make sure that you're lining up the bottom to the first piece where it's folded to the folded part of the fabric again to cut out the second piece. So now that you have two pieces for the bottom, we can go ahead and just put those over to the side and begin to work on the top. So you're going to go ahead and grab your pattern for the top piece. And again, you are going to do this process 2 times, one for the left and one for the right. We're going to do the same thing as the bottom and go ahead and place the pattern on the part of the fabric where it folds. And once you're done with this one, you can go ahead and cut out a second one for the other side. And once you get to this point, you should have both pieces for the top and then 2 pieces for the bottom as well. Now's the fun part, let's get to sewing. So here you just want to open up the bottom pieces that we cut out because we are going to lay them right sides touching. So because the bottom patterns are cut at an angle at each corner, we're going to go ahead and sew each of those corners first. Keep in mind that everything that I am sewing together, I'm doing with a serger, but you can definitely do this on a regular sewing machine. So anywhere that you see me using the serger, you can go ahead and just use a zigzag stitch for all these parts and you'll get the same result. So here you can see that I finished sewing 2 corners for one side, and I'm just going to go ahead and do the bottom side as well. Now that you're done sewing all 4 corners, we're going to go ahead and sew the left side and the right side from top all the way to the bottom. And again, we're going to do that on both sides. And now that you're done sewing that side from top to bottom, we're going to go ahead and do the same exact thing to the other side. At this point, you should be done sewing both sides. Now we're going to go ahead and turn this inside out so that we can create our finished seams and get ready to close it and create the tunnel where the string will go through. If you do not have a serger, you can go ahead and just zigzag stitch this part just so that the opening will be closed. Once you finish closing off both sides, you can go ahead and cut off any excess thread because we are going to get ready to create the tunnel and we want it to be nice and clean. Now what you're going to do is take your closed end or your finished seam, and we're just going to take that and fold it over, which is going to be creating the tunnel for the bikini strap to go through. To close it off, we'll just be using a zigzag stitch. Keep in mind at the beginning of your stitch and the end of your stitch, you want to go forward and backwards a few times to make sure that this does not open up, nothing is loose, and everything stays in place. So you're going to do it right when you start, go all the way to the end, and then again, you're going to go forward and backwards, and you're all done. So once you finish that, it'll look a little bit like this. And all you have to do is cut off the excess thread, but I'm going to do that once I finish the other side. So now go ahead and flip it over, and we're going to do it to the other side and create the second and last tunnel for the bottom piece, and then we'll get ready to insert the strings. Now that I've finished creating both tunnels for each side, I'm going to go ahead and clean up the bottom by cutting off any excess thread. Once you finish cutting off all the excess thread, you are done with the bottom piece. Now there's nothing left to do besides inserting the bikini strings into the tunnel. So for the strings for the bikini, you want to go ahead and cut out an inch wide string that is 42 inches long, which will be for the top piece. Then you're going to cut out 4 other pieces, all of them which will also be an inch wide, and those will be 36 inches long. You can go ahead and fold them over right side of the fabric inside, and then you can go ahead and just sew all the way down until you're done. You are going to do this for all 5 of the strings, and once you're done doing that, we'll go ahead and turn the strings inside out to see the finished product. Once you finish sewing all 5 of the strings, we're going to go ahead and begin to turn them right sides facing out. Here I'm just cutting off any excess fabric that is left at the end of the strings. If you have a serger, you know this always happens. If you're doing this with a zigzag stitch, go ahead and cut off your excess string as well. Now that we're done cutting off any excess string, we're going to begin to turn the string right side out. If you have a loop turner, this is the time to go ahead and use it. It's probably faster, but for some odd reason, I just prefer using a safety pin. So you're just going to go ahead and stab the safety pin through the outside into the inside of the string. Once you do that, close it and take the bottom, pull it out, and roll it over and inside of the string. And here you'll see me do it again. Pull the bottom, flip it over inside of the string. And now we're just going to begin the push and pull method until we get all the way to the end of the string. So here you'll just see me pushing the safety pin and pulling the fabric in the end. Push the safety pin a few more times and pull the fabric. And we'll keep doing that until we get through the entire string. So you want to go ahead and do this method to all 5 of your strings until you're done turning all 5 of them right side out. Now to finish the bottom, we're going to take 2 of our strings that we cut at 36 inches, and we are going to do the same push and pull method through the tunnel that we created on the bottom piece. To get the string through the tunnel, we're going to go ahead and do the same exact thing with the safety pin. We're going to hook the safety pin to the end of the string and insert it into the tunnel and push and pull until we get to the other side. Once you have put the string in both tunnels, you'll be done with the bottom piece, and we can go ahead and move on to the top. At this point in the course, we are done with the bottom piece and we'll be moving on to the top. But here's how your bottom should look once you're all done. Now moving on to the top, we're going to take the remaining 2 strings that are 36 inches long, and we are going to hook them to the top of the top pieces, which is going to act as the string that you use to tie around your neck. We're just going to open up our pattern piece, flip it over, take one of the strings, place it on the top center, and we're kind of going to make a sandwich. So we're going to grab the other part and close it up, and we will be stitching that together to keep the string in place. Here you can use a serger or a zigzag stitch, but I prefer to use a zigzag stitch. To sew this part is super easy. You just want to keep going back and forth as many times as you want that makes you feel as if it's secure. And once you're done doing that, cut off the excess fabric and we'll move on to closing the top piece off. Now that we have sewn the string to the top of the bikini, we're going to go ahead and sew both sides shut. Starting from the bottom of the bikini top, we're going to go ahead and sew from the bottom up to where we sewed the string. Now when sewing the other side, you do want to keep in mind you are going to have to kind of stuff the string inside the bikini, but we are going to leave a little piece out at the bottom so that we can go ahead and flip it inside out. And for this side, we are going to sew from the top where the string is to the bottom, and we are going to leave a little piece open to pull the string and flip it inside out. Flipping it inside out is going to be super easy since the string is already poking out. So really you're just going to pull at the string until you start to see the right side of the fabric coming out a little bit, and then just finish pulling it all the way through. At this point, we are almost done making the first bikini top. We're going to do the same thing we did on the bottom and create that finished clean seam so that we can create a tunnel for the top pieces as well. Now we're going to take our clean seam, flip it over, and create the tunnel so that we can go ahead and insert the string into the tunnel for the top. The string that you'll be inserting here is going to be the one that's going to go around your bust. Once you're done sewing the tunnel shut, you're going to go ahead and cut off any excess thread that you may have, and then we're going to get ready to insert the 42-inch string into the tunnel for the top. Now go ahead and grab your 42-inch string. We're going to go ahead and hook the safety pin to the end of the string, and again we'll be using the push and pull method to get the string through the top piece. Once you're finished putting the string through this top piece, you can begin working on the second one, and you'll follow the same exact steps. Once you have the second piece added onto the string, you'll be done with the top. Now that you're done making the second part of the top, you can go ahead, grab the same string that you just put through the first piece, Put it through the second piece's tunnel and you'll be done making the top. So now that you're done inserting the string into both pieces of the top, you're officially done making the bikini. Here's a quick look as to what your bikini should look like. Watch the next video to see how we are going to create the matching skirt.